Welcome back to Edgework, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Zack Phillips, joined by Alex Moretto and So Money here to help break down today's full slate of NHL games, give out best bets, answer questions from the chat, all of that stuff and more. So if you are watching right now on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter and you want to get questions in, easiest way to do so is over on the YouTube channel, but we will be breaking all of that down here today. And I mean, no time to waste here with this massive card. So I will let you guys know, if you didn't know already, it's not back anymore, but hockey season is in full swing. And with FanDuel, you can turn a little hunch into a true power play. FanDuel has the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking or bet on the fly with the Pulse. Make every NHL watching experience more with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers kick off the season with $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet. You'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly. You must be 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem, call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600. Visit connectsontario.ca. Moretto, not a good day for the show yesterday, but more specifically, not a good day for Albert. Albert gives out both best bets. Ducks money line plus 202. They lose 5-1 to the Sens, and then Sabres money line plus 120. I think that was just a personal hedge that he brought to the show. It was pretty gutless there.
Yeah, it was very gutless. He does not care about us, does not care about our show record, and frankly, that's the reason he's not on today for a 14 game slate.
He would have just fired on every single underdog.
12 dogs.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Money, how are you feeling? Is that OnlyFans money coming in yet?
Yeah, we're doing good. Business is booming.
I'm glad to hear, because if you were following along with yesterday's show and betting the plays Albert specifically gave out, business would not be booming. But we'll try to get things back in the right track here today. We've got plenty. Before I ask you guys actually specifics about any of the games here tonight, did you happen to catch last night's Rangers-Sabres game? Did you spend any time watching that, either of you guys?
Very little.
Yeah, I watched like the last 5 minutes of the game. That's about it. So
I watched the first bomb. Yes, I watched the first 2 periods, and then I caught up on the final period there. I said it, I tweeted it last night. I think Albert was saying it as well. I don't think that's a game that either fan base, walks away from with any type of ease or comfort. If you're the Sabres, you are now pissed off. You have lost 8 in a row. If you are the New York Rangers, you are pissed off that you barely got by the Buffalo Sabres. So it's like, I guess you got a win. That's good. But other than that, it seems like both teams still pretty miserable after that one.
I saw, I won't be able to find the tweet now, but there was a Sabres fan account that took a quote from the post-game press conference where they said, someone of the Sabres, I don't know if it was coach or I don't know if it was Lindy or who said it, but they were basically yeah, we didn't back down and we kept pushing, we kept fighting against them, and whatever we kept going in the third period there, and he just hung the banner with kept pushing or something like that.
I think we put some pressure on them. Yeah,
I think we put some pressure on them. That's
we weren't
it.
sitting back, and we weren't worried about making mistakes.
And then the banner was we put pressure on them or something.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Owen Power looks bad, though. I didn't watch any really of the game last night, but I've seen the Sabres lately, and man, he's really struggling right now. I think he'll be fine. He's a young D man. You go through growing pains, but he's really going through it right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess one of the biggest issues is that he's a defenseman. He's not very capable of playing defense. That's one of the biggest problems that he's having, but, yeah. All right, let's get to the games here today. We've got a lot of them, so we don't want to waste any time here on this. If you guys have questions while you're going, send them in the chat. We'll try to answer them throughout the course of the show, but let's start with the Kings-Devils game here tonight. LA currently plus 126, the Devils minus 152, 5.5 is the total, minus 122, over plus 100, under. Moretto, do you got anything here in this game?
So I do kind of think this Devils number is a little bit too high. I do agree that the Devils are playing very good, and they are, being priced as a very good team, because they are a very good team, and that's fair. But I think the market is a little bit too slow still to catch up on the Kings. They're one of the best teams in the NHL. I mean, this is a tough spot to bet against the Devils, though, just given like the back-to-back losses to the Avs and the Leafs and how they played against Toronto. They played really well. Obviously, felt like they would have deserved something better there. But like, so I'm not really dying to bet against them here in this spot, even with the Kings sort of rolling right now and at this number. But like, I do kind of like the under again here, where I'm getting 5.5 plus money. We talked about it the other day. Like, the Kings are a 5.5 team. That's fair. And the Devils maybe not consistently, but like in the right matchups, I think they are. And I think this is definitely one of those matchups where we talked about it the other day, how they're going to want to play that game based on the fact that, you know, they were coming off that loss to the Avs, and they did play that way against the Leafs, where they gave up very, very little. Would have been likely a 1-0 win if not for a shorthanded goal that they gave up late. So yeah, I think defensively we can expect a similar effort. It is a little scary. The one scary thing about betting Devils unders is that they are able to generate so much, but I don't think the Kings are the team that they'll be able to do that against. Very, very good structured Kings team defensively here. We should see another really tight game. I do think getting plus money at 5.5 is pretty good. So I'm of course, FanDuel, very sharp number there, not at 5.5. Or sorry, not at plus money at the under, but I do, if you can get plus money, which I think is very, very widely available, then I do like it.
There is a plus 100, minus 100 even money at FanDuel right now, showing on the screen.
Okay.
But yeah, looking elsewhere currently right now on this game, we can get into like plus 105s, that kind of range. So we will go and grab one of those. They're pretty widely available as well. So Money, do you have any additional comments for this game?
I think this is going to be the game of the night. Really, really looking forward to it. Could be a Stanley Cup preview as well. I think that both these teams have pretty much everything it takes to get to the Cup. I think that both of these teams need a couple of minor improvements that can be taken care of at the trade deadline. So yeah, I think that I don't disagree with Alex. My only concern is that I've mentioned the 5.5, right? You need everything clicking for you in this league to win a 5.5. The concern I have for this 5.5 is, even though I think that the Kings fully profile as a 5.5 team, I worry about the consistency with Markstrom. Yeah, he's been looking better, but I need to see a little bit more, right? And it's nice that he's fully insulated when the Devils do want to play a tight defensive game, when they do want to tighten it up, they can mask a lot of his deficiencies. But I still need to see more, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a 5.5 in today's NHL. So I will pass on this game. Looking forward to it. Really should be a good one. So yeah, I'll be watching as in the rare occasion these days, I'll be watching this game strictly as a fan, unless if something live comes up.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so but we do lock in a best bet there, courtesy of Moretto, under 5.5 plus 105. So we will recap everything. It's all being tracked in the BetStamp app as Edgework HQ as well. But time to go to the real game of the night, and that would be Anaheim-Toronto. The Ducks plus 315, the Maple Leafs minus 410. 5.5 is the total here, minus 140 over, plus 112 under. Courtesy of FanDuel, those numbers are at likely sixes out there everywhere else. So Money, are you interested in this game at all?
No.
I think that's about all. I think that's all the time we need to spend on this game, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, like one of those games where the Leafs off that win against the Devils, probably, as Alex mentioned, it was an undeserving win. You know, either they're going to respond, they likely won't, and they'll likely just do just enough to try to win this game, which could open them up to a big upset. I know, do you guys remember? I know Zach remembers as well, but a couple of years ago, Leafs kept losing as really big favorites, right? So, and it was exactly in situations like this. And I believe one of those games might have been against Anaheim too. I'm not sure, but yeah. So
It was
really don't know what we're gonna get out of the Leafs. If they feel like showing up, there's no reason they don't win this game. But the problem is that are they going to show up? And I have no idea.
that is a fair evaluation. Moretto, same boat for you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's all just there. So I lean towards an under, and I lean towards like a Ducks plus 1.5 at like big plus money, or a plus 2.5 if it comes down a little bit. But I'm not dying to bet it either, because like the Leafs genuinely probably could name their score. Especially with the Ducks on a back-to-back and how bad they've been defensively. But like Dostal and Stolarz is a very good goaltending matchup. You'd like that, and you don't think that Anaheim should be able to get much going here offensively. Leafs haven't been able to generate. But like that being said, the Ducks can also just be a train wreck defensively at times. And, if the Leafs do decide to like, hey, let's try and get this offense going right now, and they do, or the power play gets rolling and they get a bunch of opportunities here, it could get out of hand. So I'm just going to sit this one out.
Okay, let's not waste any more time there on that one. Let's go to the Red Wings Flyers game, where we've got Detroit plus 106, Flyers minus 128, 6.5 on the total, plus 100 over, minus 122 under. Moretto, this one more intriguing than the last?
So I talked about wanting to get back on Philly unders, and I thought this was the perfect spot for it. Defensively, like, they've been genuinely great, really strong numbers every night for a few weeks now, still not a high volume offense. And this is a game against a Detroit team that just doesn't have any firepower. I think you can throw that Sabres game out the window. Obviously, that team is just a certified mess. Reimer was pathetic in that game on Monday. Detroit's still really struggling to generate offensively, continue to play well on their own end, not giving up a lot. Flyers not a team that are going to change that. Was looking for, this to be a boring kind of low event game. And I did bet some under sixes this morning. And then that was under the assumption that we were going to get Urson. And then we did not get Urson. We got Kolosov in net. So wasn't thrilled about that. That being said, like, matchup wise, I still do really like this under. And like Kolosov he had a really rough first start in this league, and then he had a rough game against Florida. Outside of that, he's been fine. Like, he's had a good baseline. Torts kind of gave him a little vote of confidence by naming him the backup over Fedotov, and Fedotov is now the third string. So, like, they obviously like what they're seeing from him. He hasn't been playing that bad. And the fact that I did bet it, like, I'll just kind of put my money where my mouth is here, and I think if we can't get, I don't think plus money is widely available. Hey, there's only really the one spot that I'm seeing it at. FanDuel 6.5 minus 120 though. We're minus 122. Are they at?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good number. If Joe sponsor, like, if you have access to that, I like that. 6 plus money, I like that too. I'm fine with it. I'll back it up, even though we got Kolosov. I did bet it myself, so we can run with it.
Under 6.5, minus 122, under Moretto here. So money, agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on total side in this game?
Am I frozen?
No, you're good now. You were for a split second. I think your mind was frozen for a second there.
It happens a lot these days. Yeah, I bet I bet the Wings. I like them down to plus 110. Few things here. So we know that I'm high on the Flyers. I think that the Flyers are the real deal. I think that they play the right way. They're doing the right things with what they have to be successful in this league. And I don't think that we're going to see the same wall that they hit last year. Whether it's good enough to make the playoffs remains to be seen. But I don't think that this team is going to fall off the way that it did last year. So that's kind of like my long-term analysis of the Flyers. Short term, we look at the price right now based on their recent performance on both sides, both teams' recent form. I think that we're a bit inflated now on the Flyers. And for this particular game, we're going to get Talbot in net. We're going to get Kolosov in net. I do agree that Kolosov is playing a little bit better, but I'm still not fully sold that he's playing well enough right now to be laying this number. Detroit, that was a weird game against Buffalo. They deserved to win, but they didn't get the goaltending. So that game really should have been probably like a 5-2 kind of game. Instead, it was a 6-5 shootout. So I'm not gonna come down too hard on Detroit there. Just strictly on the price here. When Detroit has played poor games lately, it's been against Colorado, Vancouver, New Jersey, and Boston. Right, so they are able to take care of, in terms of their play better against mid-range teams. So we're on the Red Wings here. Like them to plus 110. Think the number's inflated for where both of these teams are right now.
Plus 113 added to the card here today. We got under 6.5 in this one, minus 122, plus 113, Red Wings money line. Next game, let's take a look at here. We will recap everything we've given out at the very end. Actually, quickly before we move off of this, we've got a couple suggestions here from Insight for points, our prop bets. I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are on this. I'll pull up BetSaint Pro and see what we've got over there as well. But Bobby Brink plus 575 power play point from Insight, and also Sean Couturier plus 500 power play point. Either of those standing out to you guys?
I haven't looked, to be honest.
Fair enough.
They're both on
Fair
PP1.
enough.
Let me just check one other thing here, but I mean, yeah, I definitely haven't looked. I just want to see what this power play is like for, I mean, this penalty kill for the Wings. It's terrible. Yeah. All right. Yeah, fair enough. I don't hate that. They're at 67.5. They're 67.5%. They're second last in the NHL. That is it's a bad kill.
Maybe we do that tonight. Power play point round robin tonight. Maybe we'll take a look at the very end of the show here. Lots of games to pick from. Let's go to the actual game of the night. We teased it with the LA and the New Jersey. That wasn't it. It's obviously not Toronto, Anaheim, but that would be the Penguins and the Montreal Canadiens. Pittsburgh here, minus 115. The Habs, minus 104. 6.5 on the total, minus 105 over, minus 115 under. Moretto, I'll let you take the lead on this one here with your Montreal Canadiens. Is there anything that's piquing your interest tonight?
So, as someone who watches basically every minute of Habs hockey every season, I do tend to kind of pick up on these trends maybe a little bit quicker, some of the nuances of their game. And it's been a few games now here where I'm pretty comfortable saying this is more than just a trend, where that since Laine has come back, you can tell they are comfortable opening up the game a little bit more. They're trying to get the offense going. I think they feel that they've settled the fire that was on defense for a while. They got to a good place there. And now that they have all their horses back up front, they're willing to sort of really put it to the test, open things up and get after it. They're giving up a little bit more as a result, but they are generating more too. Power play has been great. Pittsburgh has obviously been playing better, not as leaky defensively. Still not good though. And they still are not getting the goaltending. Offensively, they don't have any issue really generating. Should be able to get enough going here, especially, with this sort of step down in class. And I think, the way Montreal's been getting the offense going too, everything kind of points to an over here. I have not bet it yet. I was waiting to see if we would maybe get a primo confirmation, because I think if we don't, then we're in no rush to bet it. And we literally, as I say that 9 seconds ago, Renaud Lavoie, Samuel Montembeault versus Penguins. So it is Montembeault. So we'll see. I probably will end up sitting it out and regretting it, but I do think over is the right side here.
Okay, so we'll leave that for now. So Money, where are you at on this game if you've got anything?
I really want to bet the Habs. It's just that the number is not there right now.
Yeah.
I think that we definitely need plus money, but we need just based on the Penguins' form before the Avs game. Just can't get there. I think I show some value in the Habs. I want to know how real this Penguins run is, and I want to know how real um, this dip in form for the Habs has been the last let's say 5-6 games here. So yeah, I can't get there right now, even though I really really want to bet the Habs here.
Okay. Well, we'll leave that for now then. So nothing in this game for us. In as of right now, if anything obviously comes up, you guys let me know. We can circle back to any of this. For those of you who are watching the stream right now and haven't already, please hit that like button. Less than a quarter of the viewers on today's show have liked the stream. Subscribe here to the channel. Turn on notifications. We go live Monday to Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, breaking down all the games on the board, giving out best bets, answering questions from the chat, looking at futures, all that kind of stuff. We'll be back doing it again tomorrow and looking at futures more than likely tomorrow as well, with a small, I think only one game on the slate tomorrow anyways. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the stream here today. Let's get to Washington Columbus. The Capitals minus 166. The Blue Jackets plus 138. 6.5 the total on FanDuel, minus 115 over, minus 105 under. So money. Any early thoughts here?
Not really. Washington, they're just rolling. Yeah, they had that loss against San Jose, the overtime loss. In between games between New Jersey and Toronto, who cares, right? Like I'm not gonna, I don't give a shit about that loss. They are playing very well. They're playing very well against good teams, bad teams. They're just doing what they're supposed to do to be successful in this league. So, yeah, the numbers inflated a bit. We're into the minus 160s now on the road. That's tough to lay, but and I'm not going to, but I'm also not going to be betting against them either. So I will pass on this game just because of the respect I have for this Capitals team and how quickly they've proven me wrong going into this season.
Moretto, do you have anything that you're going to be betting in this one?
I really want to bet, surprise, the under. Like I talked about it the other day, where the Jackets offense is sort of fallen off a cliff, and that remains the case here. I think like there are some very lean offensive days still to come. Caps are obviously, like so many said, they're playing great hockey. They've been very suffocating defensively as well. That part of their game has really rounded into the form. Early in the year, they were just caving teams in, but they were generating just an insane amount and still giving up a decent amount. Now they've like really toned that down. They're creating still pretty good amount, but they're not giving up nearly as much. They're really playing like honestly like playoff type hockey. And this kind of very much has the feel of a business trip where they get in there, they take care of business. Hard to see Columbus generating all that much. Just the way that things have been going for them, feels like this is one of those where the Caps get in and out with 3-1, 4-1 sort of win. Jet Greaves is starting tonight though, which was a little. They called him up. They said he's earned it. He's been playing great in the AHL. You look at his numbers, he hasn't been playing great in the AHL. I don't really know. I don't know what they're seeing there. I guess he's better than Tarasov though. He was good last year in like limited sample. But like it's enough to just scare me off, so for me to not bet it. But getting plus money at 6.5, I don't mind it. But yeah, like with Greaves in net, I'm just gonna sit this one out.
All right, another game to sit out there, but just keep looking at monitoring as we move along here on the schedule. Next up, Chicago and the Islanders. Blackhawks plus 155, the Islanders minus 188, 5.5 total, minus 106 over, minus 114 under. So money, these are one of your teams that you've been following here near the bottom of the leaderboard. What are you thinking with the Blackhawks tonight?
How can I let this number go? All right, we're into the 180s for the Islanders. That 5.5 total is interesting. We touched on this last time, last show when the Islanders played the Kings, that there is some concern about the amount that the Islanders are still giving up. I'm not sure if we'll see Sorokin in goal. I think that
Sorokin is confirmed, and the other thing to note is that Barzal, Duclair, and Pelech are all out there in non-contact jerseys. In contact jerseys. They're all like regular jerseys. They're all playing. It looks like they're getting at least a couple of those guys back tonight, where they've been skating in non-contact jerseys, and now they're all back in regular jerseys. Yeah, I feel like at least two of those guys maybe will be back. Maybe not Duclair, but sounds like maybe Pelech and Barzal are going to be playing, and Sorokin is confirmed because Varlamov is still injured.
Yeah, so I'm going to end up. I'll end up passing this game, even though
basically the worst news you could possibly get for Blackhawks.
yeah, the number's insane, but
yeah,
I just can't do it right now. So another game I'll be passing you guys.
Moretto?
Yeah, same. But I will, just to address this, like, I don't think the Islanders are a shit team. And I think that they've battled through the roughest part of their season, in my opinion, where they've dealt with a ton of injuries, also some adversity, and like maybe some inner turmoil stemming from those injuries, just because that's what losing does to teams. It rattles teams. It gets, unrest and whatever. They're getting healthy now, though. Like Pelech and Barzal are both obviously like great players. Getting those guys potentially back, whether it's tonight or whether it's in a couple days or whatever, like the fact is they're getting healthy. I think this is the last kind of chance to buy low on the Isles. I'm not saying cup futures, but like FanDuel has those in-season point totals up, stuff like that, to make the playoffs, whatever. Like you look at the race for, that second wild card spot in the East. It's brutal right now. There's no one that wants it, and now you have a team like them that's getting healthy. I think Isles to make the playoffs. Isles point total over. I like those, and I think that we're going to be running out of chances to buy it. Plus 235 right now. Isles to make the playoffs. I'm going to be betting that myself. You can add that to the future sheet. That's a bet for me at this point.
Okay, I will add that to the future sheet. Isles to make the playoffs plus 235. Quickly, while we're on this one, so money, do you have any thoughts on adding this bet here to our future sheet?
Not right now. I can see the reasoning behind it. I understand the justification. I just want to I think we have time, as if they're gonna make the playoffs, as they're getting healthier. I think we will start seeing kind of how the guys get integrated back into the lineup, and how it impacts their form, and how much better that they can possibly play. So I think we have time for this one. I'm more interested in looking and seeing if their play improves before I can jump in. And if that costs me a little bit on the price, I'm fine with that. I would just rather see how the guys get integrated back into the lineup first.
Okay, well, we did add the plus 235 there. Sorry, Moretto, go ahead.
No, it's all good. It's worth noting here from JJ5 that they did not take line rushes, those guys. So I didn't see that. It's hard to I'm trying my best to keep up with news and do the show, but you missed. It's pretty easy to miss stuff like that. I saw before we started the show that those guys were out there in regular jerseys. Hadn't seen anything since. So if that's the case, then maybe I was wrong. Maybe they won't get any of them back. But close to returning, but maybe that changes. I don't know if that changes things for you tonight, so money, but it is Sorokin. I know that much is confirmed.
Okay, there you go. We add that one to our future sheet here. We'll continue to move on games here tonight. One team that actually just might be shit is the Nashville Predators. They're playing against the Dallas Stars here tonight. Nashville plus 180, minus 220 for the Stars, 5.5 total, minus 132 over, plus 108 under. Moretto, do you got anything for us in this one?
No, I don't want to touch these Predators games right now. They could lose this one 7-2. They could lose this one 5-4. They could lose this one 2-1. Either way, they're probably going to lose this one. I don't know why Brunette is still employed. The only thing I can think of is that Trotz knows that once Brunette's gone, that it's all on him. And maybe he's worried about his own job security, because this is kind of the mess that he made at this point by bringing these guys in this summer. I think they just need to fully clean house. It's such a disaster. You can't win at home to Calgary. I'm not sure how you're going to stop the bleeding at that point. Like, then you look at their upcoming schedule at Dallas, at Colorado, Rangers and Pittsburgh at home, maybe their last chances for a win for a while, because then it goes Kings, Hurricanes, at the Blues, at the Jets, at the Wild, at the Canucks, at the Flames, at the Jets, Caps, Knights. That's a murderer's row of a schedule. So things are about to get even worse somehow for the Predators. I don't want anything to do with this team right now or their games.
So, Money, do you want anything to do with this game?
No, another one I'll sit out. I think that I've talked about Nashville all year. Like they're a mess. My only regret is that I didn't bet heavier against them earlier in the season, and now we're in situations where they're going on the road against teams that are laying minus 200, and there was an opportunity there earlier in the season. So I will pass this game. The Stars are the Stars. They're just rolling. Sometimes they don't get the results. Sometimes they shoot themselves in the foot. That's who they are. That's who they've been the last 3 years. If they want to play well, they'll win this game. Maybe they'll play well enough and they'll get stretched into overtime or something, and it could become a coin flip. But it's not a game that I'm too interested in right now.
Okay, let's go to one. Even if we don't have bets in, we might just be more interested in general, and that would be the Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. Vegas right now plus 106, Winnipeg minus 128, 5.5 the total that we're getting on FanDuel right now, minus 138, over plus 112, under. So, Money, back to you. Does this one interest you at all?
Indeed, it does. And
there we go.
Yeah, this could be. The Jets may actually make me start on OnlyFans at this point. They are. They just love to. They just love to give it to me, basically. I played Vegas. I played Vegas. I think that there's a small edge here. I do like the way that. It's not so much that I like the way that Vegas has been playing. I like what they're doing in terms of within their games, how they feel that they need to play. They don't get all the results sometimes, but they're still a team that's kind of coming into their own as the season goes on. They're trying to figure out who they are, what they need to do. So I am pretty lenient on Vegas, more so than I am on other teams who are in a similar situation. So I do like Vegas here. I like them down to plus 105. And it's not necessarily So let's just lock that in. There is stuff there is stuff that I see on the Jets that does concern me, but I want to see it play out a little bit more before I make any bold statements here. I just want to see that play out a little bit, and then if it does come into fruition, then maybe in the next week or so I can talk about what I'm seeing with the Jets here.
Okay, we add that one plus 108 to the card here tonight. Moretto, do you have anything to add to this one?
I've been burned so many times by Vegas. It's time to just lean in, baby. I'm on the Knights. I bet the Knights too. I bet them at a bit of a better number, but I'm fine with the numbers at whatever. It is what it is at this point. The Jets are not playing great. Not playing nearly as well as the record indicates. That even that 8-1 win was not like an 8-1 win. I get that Boston was playing from behind for so much of that game. That's why the underlying numbers are going to be a little bit skewed. But like 37% expected goal share at 5-on-5. Swayman wasn't good. It's just like it was not an 8-1 game, and now the Jets are a little bit inflated because of it. I'm not even that high on Vegas. I don't like how they've been playing necessarily, and I'm not necessarily that high on the team, and I still am betting this because I do think they're still better than Winnipeg, and even accounting for home ice and whatever else. But when you look at the rest advantage and all that stuff, this is a good spot to back Vegas, in my opinion. Good number, good spot. I'm ready to bend over and have Winnipeg just keep fucking Just keep doing it to us here.
Lean in,
lean in,
lean in.
That's it. I'm finally done with the fading Vegas train. Yeah.
Oh, the images on this show.
Next up, we got San Jose and St. Louis. The Sharks plus 164, the Blues minus 200, total of 5.5 right now on FanDuel, minus 132 over, plus 108 under. What are you thinking here, Moretto? Anything? Pass? What's going on?
This is Blues Sharks, right?
Yes.
So you said, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Yes. San Jose unders have been good to me. But I still, Vanacek doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Maybe Georgiev gets his debut tonight. Definitely doesn't inspire much confidence. I don't necessarily buy into the Blues' resurgence, especially the offense, but like they do have it kind of rolling right now up front. Just matchup wise, like I would lean towards the under, but I don't necessarily like where the price is at, and I don't like the potential sort of blow up potential, I guess I should say, here for on the Sharks end, where St. Louis is generating a little bit more, and they're not playing as tight defensively. Like, seen a little bit of a shift. I don't think that's going to continue. I still think they will end up being an under team, but the way things are going right now, just not enough for me to get involved.
Okay. So money, anything for you?
Yeah, I will get involved. I think that I agree completely with Alex said, except that I do think that we are seeing a shift on the Blues back to being an under team. I like that even that game against the Canucks, that 4-3 game really shouldn't have been 4-3. That was a low event game that Demko's first game back wasn't made some good saves, but it wasn't his best game. He was well below his baseline, and the Canucks had to respond accordingly the way that they were playing. So they had no choice but to open up that game. In this game, neither of these teams, it just feels like neither of these teams have any interest in moving forward. Binnington will be back in net. San Jose unders have been good. I think we're going to see a low event game here. And I did bet the under. We can get it to minus 115, I think. And that's where we are.
Okay. Under in
this. Yeah, you know what? I'll jump in on it too, because I don't think we're going to get Georgiev. As long as we don't get Georgiev, then like I'm fine with this. This does just shout under this game.
Under 6, minus 115. We're going to add that one to the card here today, courtesy of Moretto and So Money. Another best bet, double best bet there. We had that, have it on this one. We've got it in the Vegas game. Double best bets, I think, are doing well this year, boys. I think we talked about that one yesterday. I think the doubles are doing real well. We're gonna have to start.
That's why I had to jump in here, just to make sure that we
push it over the finish line.
Yeah, push it over the finish line.
There you go. There's another one. Under 6, minus 115. And we add to the card. Again, we'll recap everything at the end. But as well, send goal scorers, player props, whatever it is that you guys want here. We can figure out some type of parlay to close out the show here tonight, but we'll get to all of that after the games come to a conclusion. Obviously, I saw Sam there in the chat. I see a bunch of people sending stuff, Insight flooding the chat there as well with his prop bets for tonight's game. So keep sending those along, and we'll get to it after we finish up with the entire card. Next, Oilers, Wild. We've got Edmonton currently minus 150, the Wild plus 125, 5.5 total, minus 132 over, plus 108 under, 6 is elsewhere. Moretto, any thoughts on this one early on?
It's going to sound like a broken record here, but I really, really like the under. Talked about the Oilers against good teams and how they tend to play. And, that showed itself again on Tuesday against Tampa, where that's how they approach these games. We know how Minnesota is going to approach this with the injuries they have. They're very much going to have to try and sort of suffocate this game, take out all the pace, tempo, or they won't really be able to keep up if so. That Utah game got a little wild in the third period, but no pun intended there. Wild did not give up a lot at 5-on-5, though. It was still a couple power play goals for Utah. Gustafsson wasn't great either, and every time he's had an off night this year, he has rebounded with a pretty stellar performance in his next game. So I like him to bounce back. I like the Wild to play their typical brand of hockey. Oilers to stick with what's been working for them in these games. Number has drifted a bit from where I bet it this morning, but they're still minus 115 widely available, and I'm fine with that. That's probably as far as I'd go, though.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking right now what we can get on that. I think that's like minus 115 is good.
Yeah, there's a
on
bunch
that
of
one.
minus 115. There's minus 113 at some over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
We
supposed
had
to
that
say
one
it on
in
here, but yeah.
courtesy of Moretto. So money, you agree with this one? Disagree? Like where do you come in on this?
I agree with the concept of Oilers unders against these kind of teams and Wild unders in general. The price is gone for me though. I would have wanted something better with the Oilers on the road here. So I'll pass. Yeah, just I don't disagree with the play. I just can't
Yeah.
get there on the number.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Makes sense. Next game, Tampa, Calgary, the Lightning minus 156, the Flames plus 130, 6.5 plus 104 over, minus 128 on the under on this one. So Money, what are your thoughts on where we see these numbers right now?
So the way that Vasilevsky has been used this season, he usually plays 5 games, and then on the 6th game, unless if there was a back-to-back or some sort of or something that came up in between there, the 6th game is when Johansson gets the start, right? So usually it's 5 for Vasilevsky, and he gets 5 games in a row. We're in the 4th game right now, so Calgary would be the 5th game. I think we'll see Vasilevsky, and it makes a ton of sense on Saturday in Seattle for them to play Johansson. I don't have a bet tonight, but if I don't get a chance to post or talk about the game on Saturday, there's a very good chance that we're going to get Johansson in net on Saturday. So that's what I'm more interested in. Get the Vasilevsky confirmation tonight. I'm pretty sure he's going to play tonight. But then be ready for Saturday because that's going to be the 6th game, end of a road trip. It's a perfect spot for Johansson, and it's a perfect spot for doing what we need to do in that game. So just look out for Saturday.
Yeah, that is what dreams are made of. There you go.
Yeah.
Moretto, anything to add to this game?
Yeah, no, I agree. Nothing here. Flames are a very different team, home and away. Maybe one of the most contrasting teams in the league, and how they play it at home and on the road. Tampa a little bit too, just in terms of how they approach games. But I got nothing here. Yeah, this is a sit and wait. If you do get the surprise Johansson tonight, then react accordingly. If not, then yeah, wait till Saturday.
Okay, there you go. Those are the thoughts on the Lightning Flames game. The next one we got to look at is Utah, Colorado. Utah plus 158, the Avs minus 192, 6.5 total, minus 115 over, minus 105 under right now. What are you thinking here, Moretto?
I got nothing here right now. I do think that the Avs are definitely going to get back to being an under team here soon, though, especially if the goaltending sort of picks up, because defensively they're playing really strong, and they're really tilting the ice. They're limiting teams. They're taking over games, and they're not playing in these kind of back and forth sort of games that maybe we've seen in past years. They're playing really good hockey, and they're not giving up a ton. Now, I don't know whether some of that has to do with the fact that they feel like they need to shelter their goalies, but either way, I don't think that's something they're going to want to fundamentally change. They're not going to want to start just giving up chances. I don't think we're going to see a shift in the way they play, even if the goaltending does tick up. So I do think we're going to see a lot more Avs under soon, from me at least. But yeah, that's just not quite there tonight. Not against this Utah team that still is very leaky against good teams. And the offense, that just credit to them. Like, I still don't think it's sustainable, but like they do have the hot hand right now up front. They're generating a lot and they're scoring goals. They got some guys that are really feeling it. I do think it'll come back down to earth, but at least for the meantime, they are generating a good amount. So I'm just going to stay off this one, but something to keep in mind going forward that I think Avs unders are going to become pretty valuable soon, especially the way their games are being priced right now on these totals.
So money, any interest on an Avs under for you here tonight?
No, I do agree. I think that I think eventually we'll start seeing Colorado unders again, but Utah's a tough team on totals right now for me to gauge. So I will, again, another one I'm going to pass on, but I'm more interested in where both of these teams are headed going forward. Obviously, I was high on Utah going into the season. I've tempered my expectations a bit as we've gone through the season here. And for Colorado, I'm very high on Colorado in general. So I will I will pass. But I think that the way that this game plays out, I think we'll be able to learn some things about both of these teams going forward.
Okay, next game, Florida, Vancouver. I saw in the chat there earlier that people were saying this is the real game of the night, the Stanley Cup preview. I think it was determined. Florida, Vancouver, the Panthers minus 154, Vancouver plus 128, 5.5 total, minus 110 on either side. So money, the floor is yours. What do you think about your Vancouver Canucks here tonight against the Florida Panthers?
I wasn't impressed with the way that the Canucks played against St. Louis. I wasn't impressed with the way they came out. It wasn't surprising the way that Demko played. He's played 3 games now in the last 9 months. Mm-hmm. So that was tough. I expected a better effort against a team that you should be able to just step on their throats and just win that game, and not only win it. I still wouldn't have been impressed if the Canucks won that game in overtime. They still had to come back in that game. They still had to play the overtime. So I'm concerned. Now, in terms of where they are going long term, they really miss Hronek, right? We touched on this when he went out, and what a concern that was for me, because you're basically going from a elite number 1 defenseman down to number 4 now, right? And you're expecting your number 4 defenseman to play number 2 minutes, and that's the reason why the Canucks look a lot leakier defensively. That's the reason why you're seeing them not play with the same structure. And that's the reason why, frankly, Rick Talk is pissed off in every post-game press conference here. So Florida, I fully expect Florida to get up for this game. This is not a game that Florida is going to screw around with. There's no reason for them not to get up for this one. So if we're expecting a good Florida effort, there's no reason why they don't win this game. Concern here, of course, with the Canucks is that I don't think Demko would start this game. It doesn't make sense for him to play back-to-back games. I would think that they kind of ease him into the schedule a bit, and hopefully we've learned our lesson here, and going forward, Demko, and with what Lankinen has shown, Demko doesn't need to play 100 games a season, right? Like, hopefully we've learned our lesson here. But I would hope that he gets eased back into his regular rotation, which hopefully is about right now about a 60-40 split. That's kind of what I would like to see going forward. I think Florida is the right play here. Concern with Lankinen is that he's been the man for a while. It's tough sometimes when you've been given the ropes for this whole period and you know that it's been taken away from you. It's tough to respond sometimes. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to pretend to be in Lankinen's head, but it could be a tough situation there. So I will completely pass on this game. This would be a spot where I would be interested in the under, but for the aforementioned concerns I have on both the Canucks defensively and their goaltending, and the fact that if Florida wants to show up for this game, they will put up the goals that they want to put up. So it could get tough here for the Canucks tonight, but I will be passing on this game.
Moretto, are you passing here as well?
So I did not pass. I know he passed on the under for those aforementioned reasons, and those are valid reasons. I did bet the under. I don't think I can, in good faith, give it out at this point, though, at juice 5.5s. I bet sixes this morning. There were sixes around the -115 range that were pretty widely available, and it's really, really, really has drifted since. Kind of tough to bet it now. Maybe a half unit at this, but honestly, I'd probably just stay off it at this point. The thing is, like, I just don't see how Vancouver generates. That's my issue with the Canucks right now, is that they cannot get anything going offensively, and at least not at 5-on-5. Like, outside of a blow up game from the Panthers between the pipes, like, I just don't see how they're scoring goals. They got nothing against St. Louis the other night. I know they scored a few, but like just one expected goal at 5-on-5. They got nothing going. Panthers defensively are playing fantastic night in, night out. I don't know, maybe those low effort games that we talked about with Florida are already done. Like, maybe they've already got over their, cup win. And I mean, they seem focused. Like, there's been a number of spots lately where I've thought this is the time for them to kind of not play great, or maybe, have a night off, and they have not taken these nights off. Defensively, they have not wavered one bit. It's really hard to get anything going against them. I just struggle to see how Vancouver scores here. I think their only path to victory is a 2-1 type of game, like extremely low event game. I think they still are capable of playing in those games. I think Florida's comfortable playing in those games. Everything about this shouts under. At the price I bet it versus the price it's at now, I would feel a little bit dirty giving it out. So I probably will just not, and we'll just, you can do with that information what you will. But honestly, I don't think I would bet it at this point at the juice 5.5s.
Makes sense. Okay. Final thing here final game to get to here on the schedule tonight. That will be Boston and Seattle. The Bruins -120, the Kraken +100, 5.5 total, -10 on either side. Moretto, we'll go back to you on this one. Anything piquing your interest or anything you've bet on in this?
Yeah, I like the Bruins. I think they're undervalued. I don't think that Seattle is that good still. Like, we've seen, their play maybe get a little bit better, but then they've kind of waned again. They're just struggling to find really any consistency, and they haven't been that good when they step up in class. My thing with this game, and I'm curious to hear so many thoughts, because I like Boston. I'm betting Boston, but like, I think we're going to get Korpisalo here. I feel pretty confident that I feel pretty good about getting Korpisalo in this game, and I don't mind it. I'm still happy to bet Boston with Korpisalo. He's been good this year. I'm working with that goaltending coach in Boston who's done a lot for a lot of goalies in the past. He's really turned a corner, and he looks good this year. So I'm fine with that. After Swayman gave up 8 the other night, I do think they'll kind of rest him. Sacco's been pretty good about kind of alternating between the two, and not, overloading Swayman. He started 3 in a row, and that's been about his cap in general this year, even with Montgomery. So I think when Korpisalo is announced, we will see Kraken money hit the market. I'm not 100% sure, but I would be pretty confident in saying that. So, like, just for the sake of the show, I'm fine with where Boston is now, and I'm fine betting it now. But like, I do think there's potential where if you wait here, you will get a better number later.
Okay. So nothing to lock in.
We can lock it in just for the sake of the show. Like, I mean, I'm going to be betting it regardless. So I'm fine with it. I would, I want to track at this point anyways. Like, you know what I mean? It's something I'm on. Like, I want to. But like, I do think that you don't have to rush to get this one in. There is potential that you will get a better number later when Korpisalo is announced. Let's see what So Money thinks about it, though. Maybe we won't get the same Kraken money that I think.
Okay, so before I lock this in, So Money, chance to rebut or provide opinion here.
Not only are we locking it in, we're gonna go ahead and make this a double best bet. I'm good right now. And I completely agree with the thoughts on Korpisalo. I think that the market hates him. Like we see it every start. Boston, like the opponent takes money every time Korpisalo is confirmed. And we've talked about this in previous episodes. I think that a lot of this I know that everything has to do with Korpisalo's last year and the last couple of years. I think that that plays into it a lot. And sometimes it just takes a while for the market to adjust on these teams. He's not the Korpisalo that we know, because he's playing in a different system now. He's playing behind a different team. He's playing with he's playing with different he's being coached by a different goalie coach, right? Like he's not the same Korpisalo. So I'm I I'm okay with locking in the Bruins right now, but in terms of playing them, I think that wait for the confirmation, wait for Seattle to take money, and then we're gonna get a better number on the Bruins. Um, Up to minus 115 with Korpisalo, I'm fine with. We are able to get up to minus 115 right now. And then once the money comes in, I think that for our play that we do make, we should be able to get a minus 110, which is beautiful for us. One thing to note here as well. Obviously, I'm not a Brad Marchand fan, but he's really starting to grow on me, and it really sucks for me to say, but even he's very articulate, and he's very you gain a lot listening to him during his interviews. One thing I picked up is that in his last interview he was mentioning that that their loss against Winnipeg, it was expected, and it was a long time coming because of the way that they've been practicing, right? And their practices have been leaky, and that translates into the game. So he wasn't surprised that they played a game like that. I fully expect this team to respond after you get called out in that way. And it is something, obviously, if he's mentioning it in the media, obviously this is something that's been discussed internally, right? So I think that we'll see a very good response from this Boston team. And it's not like they've been playing poorly, but it was interesting to note that internally they feel that there's a lot more coming. So so I really like Boston. Just wait a little bit, we'll get a better number. But we're good to go. And this is the last time that hopefully that I ever say something nice about Brad Marchand.
And the sometimes you have games like that too, where like all the fights and then your coach is going at it with the other coach, like all that stuff, like it serve as sort of a rallying cry for a team, right? And obviously they're aware of the fact that, hey, we lost our focus a little bit. We won a few games, we got complacent. They have enough veteran leadership in that room where you can definitely bank on. It's not even like you would assume they're going to respond. Like you can bank on that there will be a response tonight. Marchand, we call that growth. So money, we call that growth. That you can see it now. He's growing on you. That is personal growth on your end too. So we love that. We love to see that.
I'd rather not.
They're very articulate, talking about how their PP is poo poo. Right? Those interviews were great.
They're so good. All right, there you go. Bruins money line locked in here. That is the final game of the night. To recap the card that we have as of right now, which you can do yourself. If you want to go to the BetStamp app, you can find it as Edgework HQ there. We've got Red Wings money line plus 113. We have Red Wings Flyers under 6.5 minus 122. Kings Devils under 5.5 plus 105. Sharks Blues under 6 but minus 115 there. Vegas money line plus 108. We have Edmonton, Minnesota under 6 minus 115. And finally, Bruins money line minus 114. So a few double best bets in there. I mean, we've got Bruins is double best bet. We have Vegas is double best bet. And Sharks Blues under 6 double best bet. Is that it? I think those are the double best bets of the day. Those are the ones.
Sharks Blues, Vegas, Bruins,
Boston. Yeah. There you go. Those are the double best bets. All right, let's get out of here with some player props. Some stuff was sent. I don't know if we want to go back to the goal scorers here tonight, guys, but I'll kind of leave that in your hands. I'm happy with whatever we decide in this one. We have plenty of options, plenty of opportunities. Maybe we just go with our favorite props. It doesn't even have to be goals, but just props in general for tonight. Is there anything or any style here that you guys are looking at and you want to do? I don't even know. I'm looking at chat. There's power play points, shots on goal. It's a mess in the chat right now of what's being sent and suggested.
There's I wouldn't lay minus 130 on that. I'll tell you right now. I don't know. The my on screen isn't fully working for me to pull up the is it for you? I can't pull up the no goal scorers.
Okay,
I only
here we go.
I only see the Florida Vancouver game for some reason.
I got them all. You want to do no? We got Sharon Govich in the Tampa Calgary game. No, minus 330. Let me add that in. We also have Zetterlund, no, minus 420. Malkin, no, minus 370. Patrick Kane, no, minus 380. Dylan Strome, no, minus 330. These are all different games, by the way. Jamie Benn, no, minus 391. Timo Meyer, no, that's good on the yes. Never mind. Read that one wrong. Dylan Gunther, no, minus 319. These are like the top ones right now. Should we just do a massive
pick your faves, and I remember about 3 of the names you said now.
Okay, let's start with Sharon Govich is in. Sharon Govich, no, that's the first one. Next, we're going to go with Zetterlund, but I mean, Sam's probably going to come in and tell us Zetterlund yes at some point here, so I don't know about that, but for now, Zetterlund, no, in San Jose. What else here? Jesus. Yeah, okay,
I'd be able to help out if my odds screen was working here.
Malkin, no, minus 370. He's not scoring against the Habs, is he?
No, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
Malkin, no.
Against Canada's goalie? No.
And then let's go with Patrick Kane. No. Those are the 4 best. Do we want to extend it to 5 or leave it at that?
Brock Besser, no.
Okay. Brock Besser, no. Sorry, so money. That's the final one. We'll do 5 there. And we will put Brock Besser, no. This brings us to, as I've put in the final one. All right, there you go. Sharon Govich, no, minus 330. Zetterlund, no, minus 420. Malkin, no, minus 370. Kane, no, minus 380. And Besser, no, minus 340. This is plus 234. There you go.
Love it. Let's go.
That is today's parlay. All right. That's where we'll leave it. Yeah, I love to see
not wrong.
Not happen. It's fair.
It's how
very accurate.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for us here on today's show. We appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you do enjoy the stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications, follow us on the BetStamp app as Edgework HQ, follow us on Twitter as Edgework HQ as well. If you want to see real-time updates, who's on the show every day, you want to see the tweets that come out, clips, whatever it may be, follow us over there. If you want to see our best bets, BetStamp, the easiest place to recap everything. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. More picks, previews, and some futures talk tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy all the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.